Welcome everybody. I remind you that the meeting will be recorded as per our council policy to help with the minutes and for live streaming purposes. I also remind everybody if they have to turn their mobile phones down if they could, please. The Circular Council acknowledges the Northwest Tasmanian Aboriginal people as the traditional custodians of the country on which we stand, meet and play. We recognise their continuing connection to the land, waters and community. We pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. We're all in attendance. I'll ask councillors if they would remain standing after prayers, please, and we'll have a moment's of a statement and a moment's silence for the Bondi Massacre.
Let us take a moment to clear our minds and focus on achieving outcomes that serve the greater good of the whole community. May light illuminate all present and support everyone to bring their highest and best selves to the debate and the decisions made here tonight. On the back of the tragedy that occurred at Bondi very recently, I'd just like to make a statement and ask for a moment's silence. There is no place in our country for such hatred and indeed any form of discrimination. Our council sends thoughts and prayers to the families of the victims of the Bondi tragedy and indeed to all that were caught up in this horrific incident. This nation has been built on multiculturalism from the very beginning of colonisation, and to see us drop to such a low place, admittedly by a few, but with such dire consequences which are horrific. I call on all our community leaders at all levels to cease the politicisation of this tragedy and work together in uniting our country, regardless of ethnicity, cultural differences, religious belief, sexual orientations, and indeed just being a little bit different. This is the time for us to show kindness as well as come to terms with this, to stand together as one as we heal and find our way forward. I repeat, there is no place in our country for any form of discrimination. We have a moment's silence, please. Thank you, councillors. Right, we've done attendance, etc., etc. 2.1, the confirmation of the minutes. Could I have a move and a second of the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the council held on the 13th of November, which has been circulated, be confirmed as a true record, please? Thanks, Councillor Collins. Seconded Deputy Mayor. No debate? I'll put the motions. Those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Declarations of interest from any councillor? Thank you. 4.1, Matt, my apologies. Where is it? On the... I never got to the 5th of the 12th, the Tas Farm Irrigation Scheme. I had something else on and John done something for me there, so can we take that one out? My apologies. Yeah, councillors, 4.1, the list of meetings and appointments. Is there any questions? Councillor Collins.
On the 19th of the 11th, a meeting with Tas Water CEO. How did that go?
Yes, me and the General Manager met with the Tas Water CEO and other staff. Yeah, look, it went well as far as those things go. We got some sort of commitment that the communication would improve. Now we'll look forward to that improving. I think our push was against the fact that a lot of stuff was happening and we didn't have the information about it before it was happening. We got a commitment that would improve. We now wait to see if that does improve. Councillor Aldago?
Meeting with Minister Howlett and the Cradle Coast Authority.
Yes, I had some trouble getting in. I needed Mark. My IT stuff was trouble. I was in and out a little bit, but I actually met a week later with Minister Howlett down in Hobart herself, and then and after talking to some of the mayors, I then followed up with some stuff there, which was around. A lot was around the coordination and the need for all the areas of tourism and economic development and infrastructure and all to be starting to work together and meld together. In other words, it's the edge of the world and Dismal Swamp get going, we still need the road fixed and things like that. So it was around those, and it was a follow-up from back when, prior to the last election, we had a meeting with the Premier in relation to air travel at that point in time, so it was a flow-on from that. Councillor Flowers?
Yeah, on the 26th, the 11th meeting with Tas Water, proposed price plan.
Yeah, we had Craig Perkins was up here for some Rotary business, so he had the opportunity to meet Paul, myself, John, I think, come into that meeting, and we was discussing again the same type of stuff as to why the frustrations around how they come by their numbers that we didn't know about. An example of that is that they've been spruiking their 8 point whatever over the next 4 years, getting up to 35-40%, but they've actually pulled 3.5%, I think it is, to take it into the next time. So, in other words, they're delaying the pain there. So if something goes wrong in this one, the potential to blow out to 8% again is there again. So we did a lot of discussions about that communication stuff again. It was really, Craig happened to be up here, so he done a follow-up from our meeting in Hobart.
To do with Tas Water, is there ever a chance that we can get out of that? Because it's been bad for this municipality, and it's been bad for a lot of municipalities, because the pricing is just outrageous.
Short answer is that we couldn't afford to do it, but no, so I'd say. I don't know the legalities of it, councillor, I wouldn't have a clue, but we could not afford to upkeep our water and sewerage systems as it is now anyway.
We used to do it years ago.
Yeah, we're not years ago now, we're now. Councillor Collins again.
But yeah, I was just wondering how the follow-up meeting went with the Department of State Growth over the Bass Highway.
Again, quite well. James joined us, then there was James and two others, and I've forgotten their names, doesn't matter. Went well. They have gone away and promised to come back, or Paul might have a letter shortly before Christmas, I hope.
I hope so.
But by the end of January anyway, the basis of it is there's the three bad sections on the way to Marrawar. The middle section out of a different pot of money, if it hasn't started, will start shortly. It's a resurface type thing, not a complete fix, but it'll be fixed short term. The other two, there's almost enough money, they reckon, to do the other two. We've actually asked them to go away and do some sums and some work on the potential passing bay at Edgecombe out there to bring the Marrawar up in front of those to ensure that there's enough money, and then worry about that bit then.
Okay.
So they should be they'll be back by the end of January, they committed, didn't they? And hopefully there'll be a letter before Christmas. Councillor Flowers?
You said the three bad sections. Can you explain a bit more where it is, so the public that are listening, they've got a bit of an idea where it is?
I'm missing James already. Michael, you wouldn't have that?
Oh, I'm not aware, no.
No, James had them when he had the piece of paper.
Yep.
Is there any other council actually knows the spots?
If it would help, we can certainly, we do have a map that outlines that, and we can certainly make that available in the public domain, just to complement these minutes.
Yeah, no, sorry. Okay.
Mr Mayor, my understanding is the three sections in question is the first piece from here to the Sandhill. The second one is the second straight at Tagari, and the third one is the Welcome River Straight. That is my understanding of the three sections that they talk about.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor. Certainly in those areas, and following on from Paul, we can get that up and make that a public.
Yep.
There's no reason it can't be a public document.
Oh, just that the public's listening to what you're saying. Yeah, and
Yeah,
they
the
don't
ones
understand.
driving it will know, but others would not, yeah.
Yeah,
If I may, through you, Mr. Mayor, I think it would be fair on that point. I would really like to reassure the public that actually the role that council has taken in advocating on this issue has been very, very strong, particularly of late. And the progress that's been made on this topic has been very significant. We've been given an assurance that there's, for the two sections, excluding the resurfaced middle section, which, as the Mayor says, comes out of a separate budget, there's in the region of $20 million remaining, and so to provide a funding envelope that would guarantee the remediation work on the two most affected sections, we've been working with State Growth to reprioritise other work, and I think it's fair to say we're certainly heading in the right direction, and we've made some quite significant headway.
thank you.
Councillor Popowski first.
Yeah, just to bring you an update, I've done about 250 metres there at Risenborough Road, at the second Tagari Street, so
Yep, so they started
they'll
that,
resurface
they started in that section, yep.
on Monday.
Yep. Thanks, Councillor Popowski. Councillor Hine?
Yeah, on 2nd of the 12th, a Dismal Swamp Steering Committee meeting. What was discussed, is there any way that if it's not going to go ahead, we can redivert that to other tourist things within Circuit?
Short answer to that would be no. If this doesn't go ahead, it'll be retracted back to federal. They'll take the money back, full stop. The latest I had was an email from Luke Sayer. Sorry, I'm just flicking through to see if I can find it quickly, and I can't.
I can maybe provide an update
Thank you.
to you, Mr. Mayor. So as the Mayor outlines, the money is ring-fenced specifically for that activity. There was, in the latest Dismal Swamp meeting, there was a presentation done on the wave experience, which was agreed by the federal government that at least a report was done on the feasibility of such an experience. What was somewhat disappointing is that the intent to have a portion of the overall money assigned to the review of the Tarkine visitor experience, which is for us a pivotal part of the overall programme of work, that was turned down. That was a request for $120,000, which has caused us, ourselves and Warwick Wynyard and Bernie, in fact, to revisit how we may go about doing that. Yes, the remainder of the work, as I say, is ring-fenced specifically for that activity.
And the latest email that came from Luke, which was yesterday, was that the Commonwealth has endorsed the variation. There was a small variation on what they was doing. They've endorsed that. So a company the name of Skyscape will be in there cleaning the place up early in the new year, with the hope then of being able to attract an investor on the back of that. So that's where that's at the moment. Councillor Debner?
Just to bounce back to Taswater, have that, maybe for the public's benefit, have they provided a completion date for the works down by the bridge and beyond at this point, or can we provide some public communication about what's going on? And
Short answer is no exact date, no, but there's no reason we can't start chasing one, yes, or chasing at least an indicative date from them anyway. So,
yep.
Sorry, yeah, short answer is no, but we can chase one
We
down.
can take that as an action point, Councillor.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think a lot of people are wondering about
Yeah,
it.
no,
It's been
no.
going on for a long time.
I think we can all of us can fully understand that.
Yeah, thanks.
I was just going to add to that,
Yep, Councillor.
if I'm able to.
Yep, certainly.
When we met with Craig Perkins, one of the things that was emphasised to him was the communication has got to improve 100%, because people keep asking about that down at the bridge there. They told us in the beginning it was going to be $19 million. My understanding is it's now out to 24 and far from being finished, and it's the work that's got to be done out at the sewerage ponds. That's the next project that they're looking to do. Now, they've got to communicate that to the general public instead of letting us having to take the rap as soon as there's somebody disagreeing with it. So we emphasise that to Craig Perkins very strongly.
Yep. Thanks, councillor O'Leary. And we can follow through along those type of lines as well. So.
Thank you.
No further? If I can have a move and a second as they be noted, please. Thanks, councillor Dabney. Second, councillor Pilkington. Put that motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Workshop 4.3. There are workshops there. Is there any questions or comments on those? If not, I could have a move and a second that they be noted. Thanks, Deputy Mayor. Second, councillor Hine. No questions, I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. 5, public questions? No. I won't go through the spiel then. 6, planning, nil. 7, matters arose by that. We'll go to 7.3. Councillor, questions without notice. Right, 8.0, no notice of motions.
Moving on.
One of my councillors was smiling like he was trying to think of
Here,
Quick.
Right, let's go 9.1. The racing one, General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillors will be aware that we discussed this as a workshop fairly recently. There's been a request through Legat, a piece of work that's been undertaken following a request to have more open communication with the Tasmanian Racing Integrity Commissioner. This is an MOU that has been tabled, a non-binding MOU, I might add, to aid greater collaboration between the Commissioner and Council. And specifically, it's relating to the exchange of relevant information, obviously subject to confidentiality requirements and applicable legislation, and opportunities to deliver training where appropriate, media protocols, etc. This is being tabled for adoption based on those previous conversations. Invite any questions.
Any questions? Councillor Flowers.
If we don't go with this at the moment, because there's not too many racing animals that I know of in Secretary, if it's required down the track, can we do it then or not?
Councillor, I mean, yeah, it's a fair question. What I would say is that this is intended to be something that applies regardless of whether there is a permanent or a racing establishment in permanent situ within our LGA. It could be operators that's visiting here for a particular event. It could be travelling through the area. So it's those types of scenarios that are probably a little different to what you might have in mind, that, you know, it isn't just about who's here on a permanent basis. But to answer your question directly, then I'm sure that could be the case, but this is an opportunity. As I say, it's a non-binding MOU. It's an opportunity for us to, you know, show goodwill in being open to share that information when appropriate, of course.
The only reason I'm asking is, do we need more paperwork? Does our office staff need more things to do down there?
This would be an MOU that would form or sit alongside other processes like our request for information processes and that kind of thing. So I don't see this as being a resource-intensive activity. It could complement other activities without any real strain on other council resources.
Councillor Hine.
Yes, I'm wondering on page 18 of that, in the purposes, second bottom line, it says regarding animal welfare and racing integrity matters. I'm wondering whether it'd be appropriate to delete the word racing and accept it on communication regarding animal welfare integrity matters, because animal welfare is something that we need to be probably across and all that sort of thing and get support, but the racing side of it is strictly a government or a regulatory thing that's got to be complied with, and really nothing that we can do, I don't think, to be involved with that. And so I'm suggesting that's what we do if we go ahead and accept that you delete the word racing out of that.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the reason for this is really just to be an all-encompassing MOU, and despite the fact that we don't have a legislative or compliance-based role for that matter under the NEA powers for our LGA, that doesn't necessarily mean that we wouldn't come in possession of information that might then become pertinent for any investigation of any race and integrity matters. And so this MOU opens up that opportunity for us to be able to share, should we feel it's appropriate, with the Commissioner, hence why those words are in there.
No further questions. Is there a mover and a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Dabney. Seconder, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Dabney, you wish to speak?
Obviously I'm supporting this one. I think its primary purpose is animal welfare at the end of the day. It doesn't come with any real cost or responsibility back on council. My concern, which I've asked about before, was it's an assumption, I suppose, because information that we share will have to still be in compliance with the Personal Information Protection Act of 2004, Tassie's version of the Privacy Act. So it's not like a wholesale information exchange that people have to be concerned about. And like I say, the purpose of it is animal welfare, which I think we should all be supportive of. So, it's got my vote.
Thanks, Councillor Dabney. Deputy Mayor?
No, Mark said it all. Thank you,
Any others wish to speak? Councillor Pilkington?
I won't be voting for it. I think animal welfare is important and we're responsible if we see bad animal welfare to deal with it, but I think it's widening the responsibility of the state. It's their responsibility to look after it. They haven't done a very good job so far, but I don't think it needs to be our responsibility. And I take Paul's point that it's not binding, but if it's not binding, why do it? It's just going to put more work on us if something happens, and it should be the state's responsibility.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor O'Legan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I rise to support the motion that's before us. And I do say, this time they're talking about greyhound industry and the animal welfare. We don't have any greyhounds, people running greyhounds out of this district, to my knowledge, that I know. But we do have some people that have the harness racing. So therefore, we need to be keeping a brief to be able to protect them going forward, so that we all get an understanding of where this is going. I suspect it might all fall over in the finish, because there might be a change of government and who knows what happens next. So I'm going to support it, but bear in mind there is some unintended consequences that might come out of this that we probably don't need. I'll leave it at that.
Thanks, Councillor O'Legan. Any other speakers?
Could I move an amendment then to two?
You can move an amendment?
To two, and just add on, authorise the gentleman to sign the memorandum on behalf of the council in respect of animal welfare issues.
Right, so you're adding in respect of animal welfare issues to number 2?
Yep.
Is there a seconder to that amendment?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Councillor Flowers, then Councillor Hine, you wish to speak to the amendment?
No, I think we've covered it all. I do note that an article in the Advocate, there's the Legislative Council have called for a independent review of as far as the greyhound's concerned, and so that's a work in progress, and until that committee comes out with their findings, it's all in limbo anyhow. So I just think let's cover the animal welfare side and deal with the other at some stage if we need to.
Councillor Flowers, you wish to speak?
No, I'm happy, thanks.
Any other speakers? I won't be supporting the amendment that is the fact we're just kicking, it's there, It's just opening, or we're agreeing to share information if we've got information, if it's responsible to do so. Okay, with those words, I'll put the amendment. All right, where the amendment is the same, one's the same and two is adding, adding where the words are, regarding animal welfare.
Yep.
I'll put the amendment. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
The amendment's lost. We'll go back to the original motion. I'll be supporting the original motion for most of the reasons that have been said. Councillor Debner, there has been a dissenting voice. You have the right to sum up if you wish.
No, thank you.
Okay, I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Those against?
Aye.
Right, show of hands. Those for?
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those against? 4. Motion's carried. You got the names? Thank you. 9.2 West by Norwest CEO GM again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is an information paper. As we know, West by Northwest is our regional tourism agency, as it were. As such, the regional tourism strategy has expired in 2025, and this revised strategy is for the next 3 years. It is for council for noting. I would also point out, in addition to the content of this report, something I found out very, very interesting actually around the challenges, around the funding challenges at a state level, that there are discussions around the future funding of the agency and what that model of delivery might well look like. So I'll ensure that as more information comes to light, then I'll bring that back to this table for future discussion. Suffice to say that the regional tourism strategy is an integral part of our wider economic development aspirations and direction setting. And so this is tabled based on our current state as to what we know and the direction that we know that our region is taking. So it's just a table for noting, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, is there a mover and a seconder that we noted? Thanks, Councillor Debner. Seconded, Councillor Collins. Wish to speak, Councillor Debner?
No, thank you.
Councillor Collins?
No, thank you.
Any other speakers? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you, councillors. 9.3 CCA correspondence.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is again put before council for noting. The table will be aware that there is some advocacy work being undertaken by Cradle Coast Authority, specifically in relation to the uncertainties around regional aviation into the northwest coast. The copy of the letter as attached with this correspondence outlines that advocacy work. So you'll note also that there was an upcoming meeting, or there is an upcoming meeting between Minister Howlett and the Cradle Coast Authority CEO Phil Reid to try and progress the matter because of the uncertainty in relation to Qantas flights in and out of the region. So again, councillors, it is table for noting.
Any questions? Councillor Oldacre?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is realised that both these airports are privately owned. Devonport is owned by
Taswater.
Beagles,
Tasport.
Tasports. Burnie is privately owned
Burnie
Council.
by the Burnie Council. So what are they saying, those two entities, what are they saying about fear of losing these airports? Because ultimately that's where the decision is going to come, regardless of what we say or the Cradle Coast says.
An excellent question, councillor. I mean, I'm sure they have a great deal to say in the context of their own organisation, but the instability of the flights, we've seen it already, not just at a regional level, but at a statewide level as well. The adjustments of Qantas flights in and out of Hobart, for example. There seems to be this statewide review which is causing instability and uncertainty about what flights are going into what airports and what that in turn has an effect on the local economies. So yeah, I'm sure that they're advocating in their own way, but it was decided through Cradle Coast Authority that they would be the good conduit for advocating on behalf of all of the councils along the coast in the meantime, in addition to that other work as well.
Councillor Pavelski?
In light of Councillor Oldacre's comments, the fourth airport, which had is privately owned, Smithton Airport. We're on the coattails of tourism into King Island, short hop with the Gulf, with the gateway to the Tarkine, and yet there doesn't get a mention in the brief that we've been given. I'm not going to support this motion on the proviso that they haven't investigated the importance of the Smithton Airport, privately owned, to this area and the future of this area with the fly-in, fly-out workers. So I think it's an incomplete report.
Through you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
If I may, I'd like to expand on that in closed session, and I may be able to give you verbal input on that very matter, if I may. This is a paper for noting based on CCA's activities. Yeah.
Yep, like the gentleman just says, it's a paper for noting. That letter will go regardless of whether we support it or not. The only thing that would happen is I'd have to ask them to take my signature on it. So regardless of whether we support it or not, that letter will be going. And it doesn't, I don't disagree with your comments, Councillor Popovski, but it does not mean that the Wynyard Airport is not extremely important to our area as well. For the same type of, it's going to be a long time before Smithton gets up to be able to handle the level that a Wynyard can do. So, Councillor Flowers.
Soon we pay, or part of Cradle Coast Authority, maybe they should have contacted the councils before putting this letter together and this issue would have been raised.
Maybe they did, it just didn't come to the table.
Well, maybe it should have done, like we're paying.
No.
Third busiest airport in Tasmania once.
Yep.
All right. No further questions. Did I have a move and a seconder? Can I have a move and a second? Councillor Dabner, Councillor Pilkington. We've had lots. I've lost my train of thought there. Right. Further debate? No further debate? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Aye. Against?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. 9.4.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, formal noting, a paper has previously come to council for recommendation or for the appointment of municipal coordinator and deputy coordinator, this is noting that the Minister for Police, Fire and Emergency Management has approved the nominations of Mr. Berritry and Mr. Stewart to the roles of Municipal Emergency Management Coordinator and Deputy Municipal Emergency Management Coordinator, respectively, for a 2-year period commencing 19 November. And as I say, councillors, it's here for noting.
Any questions? If not, is there Councillor Flowers?
Good to see they got the naming right this time.
It's actually not right, it is right up there.
They spelled it wrong.
Moving to seconder?
I'll move this.
Deputy Mayor, second Councillor Dabner. Discussion? Put the motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried, thank you. 9.5. No.
Yeah, thanks, through you, Mayor. This report confirms that Council has undertaken the public consultation process outlined in Section 14 of the Local Government Highways Act in regard to the permanent closure of the Church Street Wharf Road intersection. So during the objection period, we received 2 representations, neither of which were an objection to the proposed closure. One representation expressed concern about a potential increase in traffic flow on Alexander Street and a potential issue with policing of one-way traffic flow on Church Street. These are certainly valid concerns. We've undertaken a traffic impact assessment which has concluded that the revised traffic configuration will not result in an unacceptable increase on traffic volumes or adverse safety impacts on the surrounding road network. Should the proposed closure proceed, Council will of course monitor the operation of the arrangement following the implementation and, if required, consider any additional measures to improve compliance and safety if deemed necessary. The second representation just expressed support for the closure of the junction. So the next stage of closing would be to seek final confirmation from the Transport Commissioner now that public consultation process has been undertaken. So I present that for your consideration.
Thanks, Michael. Any questions?
Oh,
Yes, Scott?
probably not really a question, more of a statement through you, Mr Mayor.
We probably should leave it to the
Yeah,
debate
it's
then.
all right. That's okay.
Otherwise you'll have Councillor Holdaker on me back.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're so bloody frightened.
Question.
Question, right?
How long will it take to start proceedings once we're actually got the go-ahead from state?
The intention is to go out to tender very early in the new year, subject to approval from the Transport Commissioner, so as not to delay the project any longer.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Is there any reason why we've got to go out for tender? Can't the workforce, inside workforce do that, like the depot? Or is it going to be too big of a job?
Oh, be a huge job.
Our depot crew have a forward work plan that's set on a financial year basis. So this would be a reallocation of resources from other work activities, which would get reprioritised or delayed as a consequence.
Are all the contractors that submit to this council, are they all going to get an email so that they got the opportunity to tender for it?
We're certainly going to take a more proactive approach, a much more engaging approach with the industry as maybe has occurred in years gone by, and make public information as far as feasibly possible. And then, of course, it will be down to the contractors as to whether they engage in the process. But we'll be making this information available, yes.
No further questions? If not, can I have a mover and a second, please? Councillor Hine, second, and Councillor Holdaker. Wish to speak?
No, I think it's
Oh, you'll stand up anyway.
I will stand. It's been wanting to be done for a long time. I've personally actually been nearly cleaned up with a tourist car on that particular section of road, and so the sooner we can do what we're suggesting we do, the better.
Thanks, Councillor Hine. Councillor Holdaker?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This council, in its public open strategy, was one of the items, the first one, and the Stanley community told us this was the first one, and we all passed that open strategy here at this council. So we're really committed to making sure this happens.
Any other speakers? If not, to put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. 9.6, financials. No.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to present the November 2025 financials. Council didn't have any new homeowner grants for the month of November, but we acknowledge that there's 10 in total for the year to date. Council has recorded an operating surplus of 6.3 million for the year to date. I'm tracking the budget, and expenditure is currently less than budget. but to be noted that an amended budget will be presented to Council in February. Council closed the month with net assets of $317 million. Present the financials as are.
Thank you. Questions? Yeah, but easy, right? If not, is there a move and a second that we accept the financial reports? Thanks, Deputy Mayor. Second, Councillor Collins. No debate? Put the motion. Those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. How easy was that? 9.7.
I would have got one.
9.7, adoption of fees and charges.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is once again a piece of work that we've had in the workshop forum as part of our direction setting and reset around our long-term financial sustainability. We're making sure that our fees and charges accurately reflect the time and resource requirements that's actually that comes from these various activities. I'd like to point out for anyone observing that this is by no means do we make money out of this process. It is not a profit-making enterprise. We simply cover the costs of undertaking these activities. As a consequence, we have found that there were certain activities that were being undertaken by council which were not being covered through a form of fee or a charge. As a result, it's important for council to make sure that we've got the appropriate charging mechanisms in place. These are the amended fees and charges for 25-26, which we are intending to commence from 1 January. Prior to the reset of the setting of the 26-27 budget, the fees and charges will be represented to council for further readoption at that point, and along with any changes that might need to be made at that point in time. So noting that this is only from 1 January, and it's tabled for adoption and for any questions.
Councillor Hine?
Yeah, question. And sort of try and understand a little bit better on page 73, the second block from the bottom. I've got it highlighted and it's hard to read. Assessment of determination of a permit application under S57 Land Use Planning and Approval Act 1993, which is triggered, I think the word is, discretionary by selected intermittent attenuation activities that otherwise would have been a permit application. What does all that mean as far as?
What page
Where are you?
was that on?
Page
73.
Page 73.
So through Mr Mayor, that one was one that hasn't changed from the original set of fees and charges, so that would have been adopted.
That's already been adopted already.
Yeah.
If you would like a full explanation of that, councillor, I'm happy to come back to you from our planning team to explain exactly what it is.
Well, yes, it seems pretty not very clear there in my mind of what it actually means and referring to, and if we get a...
No, I appreciate that, councillor. Sometimes it isn't very easy to articulate, but it is an activity that's clearly has been identified, a discrete activity that's been identified as needing to be charged for at some point in time. So,
through Mr Mayor, attenuation zones exist in Circular Head. There might be blasting or noise or things like that. So if they're intermittent, it might be like the go-karts. So what would happen is, or an airport. So what would happen is that normally it would have been a permitted permit, but because of the attenuation zone and intermittent attenuation zone because of activities, then it's regarded as discretionary, so it would come to the table. So that's basically what it means.
Thank you.
Yeah.
we will, however, get
Yeah.
if there's any variation to that explanation, then we will get a shared amongst this group.
Thank you.
No further questions?
Yeah, on the next couple of lines down, the heritage listed.
Are these the new ones or the old ones? The old ones,
That's existing as well.
the old ones we passed in the last budget, they've been passed.
they've already,
They're not what we're
only the ones
considering
in
in
red
this
are,
one.
Yeah,
it's only the
right.
red.
That's all right, but there seems to be, have we been furnished with the actual ones that are, the properties that are heritage listed within our municipality? There was quite a bit of uncertainty about some of them and so on.
I can answer
Can
that.
you go, because it's not relevant to the debate. But
No,
anyway.
probably not.
So just for clarity, I appreciate that question may have been born from the conversations within the Smithton Town Centre plan. Originally, the way in which those were articulated were it was misconstrued as those were heritage listing rather than having heritage significance. As a consequence, the Smithton Town Centre plan was updated to say it was of heritage significance. So you were correct, Councillor, at the time in identifying the difference between the two, but that plan was updated prior to phase 1 of the plan being adopted.
Thank you.
No further questions? Is there a movement and a seconder that we adopt these, please? Thanks, Councillor Debner. Second, Councillor Collins. No further debate? Put the motion. Those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. 9.8, review of delegations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Prior to my arrival, 6 months ago, there was a commitment at that point to obviously update the delegations and to review those updates in 6 months' time. This is the review that's since been undertaken in line with that commitment to this table, and I appreciate the recommendations may seem quite lengthy, but because of the different types of delegations, it is important that they be taken individually, because you will note that that recommendation 1, for example, has to be done by absolute majority, whereas recommendation 2 can be done by 2/3 majority. So once again, tabled for adoption.
We will deal with these recommendations individually, but is there any questions on any of them at this point? Right, so recommendation 1, which we need by absolute majority, have I got a move and a second that they be adopted, please? Thanks, Councillor Debner. Seconded, Deputy Mayor. No debate? Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Recommendation 2, by 2/3 majority. Same thing. Is there a move and a seconder, please? Councillor Collins, seconded Councillor Debner. Any debate? Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Recommendation 3, which would be by simple majority, I reckon. Doesn't say on this one, but mover and a seconder. Deputy Mayor, Councillor Debner.
Sorry to interject, Mr. Mayor. Recommendation 3 requires you to move into the planning authority.
Right. Okay, so we will now move to planning authority to deal with this one, and then come straight back out. Is that what you're telling me? Right, we'll move into the planning authority. Still so moved,
Yes.
seconded. No debate? Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. I now remind council we're now back sitting as council. Thanks, Matt. Recommendation 4, which is also authorising me to sign the delegations we've just agreed to. The club moved the second for such. Thanks, Councillor Debner. Second to Councillor Collins. No debate. Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Very good. 9.9, Senior Manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As tabled, as per every meeting, we produce a senior management report to outline the key activities of council. Historically, it has been a place that highlights the amazing work of our Connected Communities team, noting particularly the Work Around Australia Day Awards. Nominations closed on the 11th of December, as have the 2026 Mayor's Education Fund, and the community Christmas events, obviously held from the 12th of December, or on the 12th of December, sorry, and 13th of December. Noting also that the new Youth Advisory Council will be launched in January 2026, which is a great step forward in making sure that the voice of our youth are reflected in the activities of council. Noting also that there's numerous upgrades made to various facilities around the LGA. As we move into the new year, as in 2026, the extent of this report will broaden even further, where we will start to table issues such as risk and various other corporate governance activities to this table, to provide this table with greater oversight over the internal governance functions of council. And it's tabled for your information.
Any questions? If not, can we have a move and a second that it be noted, please? Thanks, Deputy Mayor. Seconded, Councillor Collins. No debate? Put the motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. 9.10.1, minutes of other bodies and committed. So there's some minutes there from the Dark Sky Coordinating Committee, Circular Community and Recreation Centre, Circular Heritage Centre, CHEDIC, and CHHC, which is the Circular Head, whatever.
Heritage Centre.
What's that one?
Heritage Centre.
Yeah, Circular Heritage Centre. Sorry, it's in there twice, sorry. Thank you for your help there, again. Right. Any questions or comments in regards to any of those? If I could have a move and a second, they be noted then, please. Thanks, Councillor Dabner. Second, Councillor Collins. No debate? Motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Now, if I could have a mover and a seconder that we resolve by absolute majority that the matters listed be considered in the closed meeting. Moved, Councillor Dabner. Seconded, Deputy Mayor. The motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. And a further motion that resolved by absolute majority to go into closed meeting. Councillor Dabner.
Right.
And the Deputy Mayor. Thank you. I put the motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.